Hi, welcome to the Washington, D.C. Sustainability Awards 2020. I'm Tommy Wells. I'm your Director of the Department of Energy and Environment, and I'm here to welcome you. So, 2020, it's been a heck of a year. We've seen a pandemic, we've seen an economic depression, we've had national protests across the country, but most important in many ways to the work that we do, we've seen climate change wreak havoc across our country, from wildfires to more hurricanes than there's been in almost 100 years already, to flooding. We've seen that right here in Washington, D.C. We had a record amount of rain in just a couple of hours and flooding our neighbors. And that wasn't from our rivers and from rising sea levels. That was from just a rainfall, mostly in Ward 4 in one place. So we're seeing crazy weather. We're seeing one of the hottest summers we've had. All the things that our sustainable DC and our climate ready DC and resilient DC, the plans that we've all worked on together, we saw this coming. We know this is going to happen. And what we want to do is we want to take time out like this evening to celebrate those that are doing their part and honor Washingtonians, businesses across our great city for the work they're doing on sustainability. So with that, let me say that while we've got 5 awardees selected by a panel, and I will introduce them, but first, I need your help. We're going to be deciding our final award, and it's the annual People's Choice Award. And it's still being decided, and you can still vote. So to vote, click the link in the chat to take you to the poll and make your choice between 3 candidates. Al's Twin Air, a military veteran and family-owned business providing strategic employment programs in HVAC, plumbing, and electrical services. Very excited about this group, and I'm glad they were nominated, as well as IStudio Architects, an architecture firm dedicated to the planning and design of artful, sustainable communities. And Optoro, a company working to make retail more sustainable by eliminating all waste from returns. And so you'll be able to vote until 6:30, and make sure to vote now. And I also will encourage you to visit the brand new Sustainable DC website. It's at sustainable.dc.gov, sustainable.dc.gov. And check out this year's progress reports on our trio of sustainability and climate plans that I just went over with you. And let me also say, in case you didn't know, I'm talking to you this evening on the Anica River, a river where we've made great progress in cleaning it up. It's now far more sustainable than it's been in over 50 years. And I'm really proud of the leadership of our Mayor Muriel, of the investment that the city continues to make to restore this river to where it will sustain natural habitat and be a great respite and asset for all of us on both sides of the river. And with that, I want to introduce to you my mayor, your mayor, Muriel Bowser, mayor of the first LEED Platinum city in the whole world. Madam Mayor, take it away.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 District of Columbia Sustainability Awards. Sustainability is about balancing the environmental, economic, and social needs of all district residents in a strategic and equitable way. And it is crucial to not just have a plan like Sustainable DC 2.0, but to have partners who can make our vision a reality. Thanks to their work alongside the district government, our city has drastically cut our carbon footprint. We're closer than ever to a fishable and swimmable Anacostia River. Our Solar for All program has helped nearly 9,000 households reduce their electricity bills by 50%. And together we've built a well-rounded and green workforce. Thank you for your work and for helping us make the district a healthier, greener, and more livable place to live, work, and play. I'd like to turn it back over to Director Wells of our Department of Energy and Environment to present this year's winners. Let's get the celebration started.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser, and thank you for all that you do. And also, as you always have been, focused not just on the economy, not just on the people of our city, but on equity. And thank you for making that a priority. And as the director of the Department of Energy and the Environment, we have in past awards really looked at our businesses that promote cleaning air, cleaning water. We look at saving energy and all the different things that we do at the Department of Energy and the Environment. But this year in particular, we're going to be focusing also not just the environment, but on equity. And with that, I want to invite, I'm so excited and I'm so pleased that our keynote speaker has agreed to participate in this year's Sustainability Awards. And it's you'll have to see and hear him to really get the intersection between equity and environment. And again, I'm just incredibly excited. So with that, I'm going to introduce to you Reverend Lennox Yearwood Jr. to talk about that intersection. And now Reverend Yearwood is president and founder of the Hip Hop Caucus. And he's a minister, community activist, a U.S. Air Force veteran, and one of the most influential people in hip hop political life. With that, please welcome Reverend Lennox Yearwood Jr. Take it away.
Hey everybody, it's Rev Yearwood, president of the Hip Hop Caucus, and I'm so glad to be with you here at the 2020 District Sustainability Awards. Actually, I'm glad to be anywhere in 2020. It's just been a rough year. So this is what makes this night so special, because despite all of the adversity, many of you have overcome and been so supportive of ensuring that our community here in the district is sustainable and ensuring that we can make sure we have the greenest city, the capital in the world. So really there's three things I wanted to discuss with you to really get into it. First, greed, green, and go-go. That's right, greed, green, and go-go. Now, give me a second, I'll put it all together. So first, the first part with greed. One of the biggest enemies to being sustainable is greed. Unfortunately, there are many folks who want to continue their way of life. They want to continue to put pollution before people, and we can't have that. And many of you have done so much to clean up the rivers and clean up your communities to ensure that we can be sustainable, but also we can ensure that we have a community that is based on not only clean energy, but also being sustainable. And so greed gets in the way of that. But also greed has been one of the backbones to one of our many problems we've seen right now. Sustainability and equity are the same. We cannot have a sustainable society without a society based on equity. Climate justice is racial justice, and racial justice is climate justice. And so a lot of times we've seen this issue of greed, putting profits before people, and that must stop. The next thing is obviously green, and all of you are doing great on that. And that simply means, how do we transition to a clean energy economy? But more importantly, how do we transition to a sustainable environment? And you're doing that. Many of you are doing such great work, and I'm so glad to be with you. You made me so proud when I saw, man, there's some of the possible awardees and those and the things you're doing have been amazing. And you must continue, because climate change is our lunch counter moment for the 21st century. I wish it didn't have to be so dire, but it is. And what you do, make sure that we have a community and a great city for the next generation. The last thing is, so we've had greed and we have green. The last thing is go-go. Now, I know if you're from DC, then you know go-go. That is something that makes us special. It's like when people go down to Ben's Chili Bowl, that's also what makes this city great. But go-go is important because that's the thing that will allow us to be green and to overcome greed. That would be the thing that would allow us to ensure that when we talk about equity, we can also talk about sustainability. Because too many times the communities on the other side of the river are left out of this conversation. And their communities are left in a position where they are the ones who are hit first and worst by the pollution and the climate crisis. And so if we use go-go, if we use one's cultural expression to shape one's political experience, using go-go as a way to get folks excited about sustainability, and they can get excited about sustainability and equity, then we can use that culture to bring them in. Now, I know some of the groups who will win awards tonight actually are doing that, but we must do that as a whole. No matter where we come from, we must use our culture to create change. We must use our storytelling to explain about the need to be sustainable and the need to make sure that we are all in this together. If you're black or white or brown or red, male, female, straight, gay, theist, atheist, humans, you're all in this together. So let me conclude with this. Thank you all for what you've been doing, not only for the district, but really for our country and the world. You are truly champions. You are truly the reason why the next generation will say thank you for the work that you are doing. Simply because if you are successful, that means they will have clean air and clean water. And this award you're getting means they achieved and got that. So bless you, and all power to the people.
All right, now it's time for our awards. So let me say that this first award is going to go to a company that produces events centered around the elimination of food waste and sustainability, and they provide educational support to DC Central Kitchen, one of my favorite programs in the city as well. And let me say that I'm surprised that they haven't won in previous years. This is an incredible organization. I love them. You will too. This first award goes to Eco Caterers.
All right, sustainability to me as an individual or a family, as a business, means that what I consume doesn't exceed what I contribute. So as that pertains to Eco Caterers, it's that our practices are as sustainable and low impact as possible.
At Eco Caterers, we really see ourselves as embodying sustainable DC because we work with local farms, we work with local fishermen and ranches, but then we also manage all of the products that we get in-house sustainably through recycling, composting, upcycling, those kinds of practices. But we also are a resource to local DC businesses to be able to provide a sustainable service to their employees, to their customers, to their, for their events. So not only are we providing a sustainable footprint in our own business, but we're also enabling other businesses to be more sustainable with our practices.
We're very grateful at Eco Caterers to win this award, and it really, to us, it means so much because I think it's a little bit of motivation for Robbie and I and our staff. I hope that it helps us recruit like-minded team members in the future, and it really, I think it means that we're on the right path for what we're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the award. We appreciate it, and it really does hit home for us and our staff.
Thank you, Eco Caterers. So with that, the second award. The second award will go to a landscape, architecture, and urban design firm. They focus on social and environmental equity. Hold it down, ducks. In their design work, and works with partners like Casey Trees, we all love Casey Trees, to develop community programs. The second award goes to Bradley Designs. Congratulations.
Sustainability to me is really, in a nutshell, the long-term well-being of people and planet. And being sustainable is thinking outside yourself, about others, and about our environment. Sustainable DC does a great job of encompassing that human and economic element as well as the environmental aspects. And at Bradley Site Design, we try to do the same thing by taking a more comprehensive approach to design and consider those human and economic aspects and trying to impact them on every project, in addition to being environmental stewards. Thanks so much for this award. We really appreciate it. It means so much to us because working like this, until we're all working like this together, it can be rather isolating. So this is a real affirmation of the way we go about our projects and encourages us to keep going as we are.
Congratulations, Bradley Designs. So the third award is, it's a group that teaches kids about gardening, nutrition, entrepreneurship, and healthy living, with a strong focus on Ward 7 and 8. I'm currently in Ward 7. This group employs 70% of its staff from the district's communities on that side of the river. So I'm excited our third awardee this evening is Green Scheme. Congratulations, Green Scheme.
At the Green Scheme, when we talk about sustainability, we're talking about building healthy, thriving communities. We're talking about, healthy rivers. We're talking about trees. We're talking about communities building and thriving, congregating together. Breaking all the barriers within the community, using our outdoor spaces and making healthy spaces for our kids and for our future. At the Green Scheme, we're constantly trying to be, sustainable and find creative ways to be more sustainable. So what we do is we take spaces like this, we transform them, we activate them so the community members can actually come out here, grow their own food, enjoy their time, have meetings, congregate, do social events. We want to break down barriers in the community, and one way we do that is by reactivating these green spaces. We want to thank the District Department of Environment, We love what y'all do, the impact y'all having on our city. We like that y'all recognize our work, We just want to continue to work and keep impacting our city. Let's go. We got a lot of work to do.
The next award goes to a person who's serving her second term on both the DC Green and Energy Code's Technical Advisory Group and the Green Building Advisory Council to reduce DC's energy consumption and climate emissions. And let me tell you, this is hard work, it's important work, and it's building for the future. There's really not much more important work in the built environment than how we build, and this person has a lot to say about that. And so this award, I'm so excited, goes to Anica Landreneau. Congratulations.
I'm Anica Landreneau. I'm the Sustainable Design Director for HOK. I've been working with the District of Columbia on sustainable design, green codes, energy codes, and the Green Building Act implementation for several years. HOK is a global architecture, planning, and engineering firm. We've worked on projects in the district such as the Washington Nationals baseball stadium, which was the first LEED certified professional sports stadium in the world. We also worked on the LEED Platinum certified consolidated forensic lab in the Southwest. Thank you for this award. I'm very honored to receive it. It's been very exciting to work with the district since the early days of the Green Building Act implementation, on the Green Building Code and Energy Codes tag for several years, on the Green Building Advisory Council for several years, and now on the task force that is working on the implementation and enforcement of the new Building Energy Performance Standard, the first of its kind in the country.
And congratulations again, Anica, for the work that you do. We greatly appreciate it. So this next awardee, a very special group that's somewhat new, but have already done big things. And I'm very proud and happy to award and name the Ward 8 Woods Conservancy. They're a grassroots environmental nonprofit that works to rejuvenate and enhance the natural beauty and ecological health and public enjoyment of more than 500 acres in Ward 8. Congratulations and thank you for your work. We're very proud of you this evening.
My name's Nathan Harrington, and I'm the founder and director of the Ward 8 Woods Conservancy. Sustainability to me means that we live in harmony and reciprocity with this planet Earth, which is our only home. The Earth provides us with the air, water, and it grows the food that we need to live. It's up to us to make sure that those things remain clean and usable for future generations. And to do that, we have to give back to the Earth. One way to do that is to set aside parkland, which thankfully in Washington, D.C., we're blessed to have thousands of acres throughout the city, including 500 acres of forested parkland here in Ward 8. And the Ward 8 Woods Conservancy works to make that land beautiful, clean, and accessible for residents. Ward 8 Woods advances the goals of sustainable D.C. by building on one of our greatest strengths as a city, which is our forested parkland. We remove trash that contaminates the soil and water. We control invasive species so that we can preserve the health of our native eastern hardwood forest. And we advance environmental justice and equity by providing meaningful income, work, and green jobs training to Ward 8 residents who face barriers to employment. And finally, we work to make the forest accessible and inviting for residents. I'd like to thank Mayor Bowser, Director Wells, all the staff of DC Department of Energy and the Environment, and all of our allies in the local environmental movement for helping us get as far as we have. And we look forward to continuing. We have a lot of work to do in Ward 8 and throughout the city to become the most sustainable city in North America.
And congratulations once again to the Ward 8 Woods Conservancy. Thank you for your work. So this next award goes to a real estate management and development firm. And what they've done is extraordinary, and you will see why we're honoring them. The Clean Energy DC Award is presented to persons or organizations that have taken extraordinary or innovative steps to reduce fossil fuel use from buildings in DC. This year's Clean Energy DC Award goes to SC Herman Associates. Their project at 1441 L Street uses 100% outdoor air with no recirculated air in the tenant spaces and captures 1,440 gallons of water on average on an average summer day from chilled water coils. Pretty amazing. Congratulations.
This is Scott Ogden and Tim Blanche. We are with a S.E. Herman and Associates owner development company, and for the last 35 years we've been on a quest to find the perfect building, the perfect office building, and I think we've gotten it.
We believe that sustainability reflects transcendental values that are classical, that are great today and tomorrow and maybe generations after us. That's really what we look for. And if a building is made for people and people enjoy being in the building and they're also assured they're healthy and it's very efficient and has a low carbon footprint, then I think everything aligns for a building that we can look at and say, let's learn some things from this, because it's really showing us, I think, some of the ways of the future. So how do we know this building is great? Well, it's got a 17.4 EUI after the first 12 months of operation, which beat the model, which was a 40. And we're doing 100% outdoor air, which means no recirculated air, all fresh air in the building. We have measured it, and this is an instantaneous electrical demand or therms in the winter. We have instantaneous cost by the hour, and then we convert it to an instantaneous EUI, and then we have a trailing average since the beginning of the year. So these numbers are tracked every second of the day, and we know what our building's doing and how great it performs. So this building, 1441, is an anti-COVID building, which means it's good for our tenants to come back and be protected from the risk of transmission from another occupant because of the 100% fresh air, no recirculated air, 100% flush of the building that's happening all the time. Combine that with the solar PV production, which reduces the transmission losses. We're looking at a significant drop in the amount of our carbon footprint with the energy efficiency and the on-site production. So this building really shows how we can get people back, excited to come back to work in the city, get our city working again, and everybody's safe and helps our environment all at the same time.
We would like to thank the Department of Energy and Environment for this award. It means a great deal to us. We are the kind of people that would like to share, and I think that's the way it's going to have to be in the future. We have to share technology, and we have to practice good habits. We think we've accomplished this, and thank you so much for the recognition.
Well, that was exciting. I am so proud of the winners of the 2020 District Sustainability Awards. Again, this is very competitive. We have a lot of great businesses and individuals and contributors to sustainability in DC, and it's always fun to see all the nominees, and then to actually the awardees. It is quite an honor to be here with you this evening. And again, Eco-Caters, Bradley, Site Design, The Green Scheme, Anica Landreneau, Ward 8 Woods, and S.C. Herman and Associates. Congratulations. We're all very proud of you, and we're really lucky that you are part of our community. Thank you. Let me acknowledge Reverend Yearwood. That was a very important keynote speech for me, and I think it was for a lot of us listening to him. He says that sustainability is equity, and we all believe that together, that sustainability is equity, and that's why it's so important for us to make progress and to lift up that value in the work that we do. He also said climate change is our lunch counter moment. Think about that. We all know the impact that climate change not only has on the world, but in particular on the most vulnerable populations in America, in DC, and the rest of the world. This is our lunch counter moment. And then lastly, to use GoGo, which is distinctly Washington, D.C. I mean, we'll share, that's part of our identity, to get people excited about taking the steps that they need to in order to promote sustainability. Thank you, Reverend Yearwood. That was terrific and very distinctly D.C. And we could not be prouder of the things that you shared with us. And to say, speaking of pride, thank you to our mayor, Muriel, at a time when our national government has not stepped up. Washington, D.C. has, under Mayor Bowser's leadership. D.C. has become a national leader for not just America, but for the world, for the things that we've done in order to address climate change, to speak to equity, and really implement our values through the initiatives that make D.C. the first LEED Platinum city in the world. Thank you, Mayor. Under your leadership, we're making a difference. Now to the People's Choice Awards. So many of you have been voting, and I want to thank everyone that's a part of that. It's too bad we have to pick one, but we've got Al's Twin Air, we've got IStudio Architects, Optoro, and through your voting, and which I understand, seriously, I'm just not saying this to be politically correct, it was very close. The winner of this year's 2020 People's Choice Awards goes to IStudio Architects. Congratulations. We can take a moment to look at their team, but they are terrific, and thank you for being a part of that. I want to say thank you to all our nominees, to everyone that's a part of this, but in particular, I want to thank our team at VOEE. I have to say we have probably one of the best teams working for energy and environment in America, of any city and any state. And that is because our community lifts up our team, and our team really does believe in our community. I could not be prouder. The Urban Sustainability Administration, who is the shepherd for our Sustainable DC 2.0, and the 170 actions that we have to take over the next few years, I'm very proud of all of you. Thank you for putting on this event during COVID. It's been challenging for all of us. It's been a very difficult year, but to be able to take a time out to celebrate each other, to remind ourselves why we do this work, and also to cheer each of you on. Thank you, and we'll get through this year, and I'll see you at the next Sustainability Awards
2021.